Myself, Dr. Divya, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So, in this session, you will understand the alternate energy resources, different types of alternate energies that we are using, and their applications, advantages and disadvantages. So, here are the topics in all the alternate energy resources: wind energy, then ocean energy, energy obtained from ocean, geothermal energy resources, then biomass energy sources, then hydroelectricity that is produced from water. Then wind energy. So wind, as we know, it's a renewable power because wind is available by very high pressure of air causes wind formation. So this is a form of renewable power. So which comes from the air current crossing across the Earth's surface. So these wind turbines are used to generate electricity. So these are used to generate electricity. So the wind propeller blades will be rotating so that there is energy production. So these turbines harvest this kinetic energy and convert it to usable power that can be used to provide electricity for both domestic, industrial and agriculture sectors. So if you see this, it's a very simple technology wherein the turbines are used to generate electricity that can be applicable for domestic usages, industrial and agriculture sectors. So it is one of the fastest growing sources because this wind is available in abundant. It is the fastest growing source for the new electricity generation in the worldwide. So in the worldwide, they are exploring different technologies to utilize as much as air that can be that is in the form of wind to convert into electricity. So these growth trends can be linked to multidimensional benefits associated with this wind energy. It means like we have different applications that can be used to using this electricity that is generated. So there should be technology that will harvest this energy into electricity or the power. So what are the advantages? So the electricity produced from this wind power is said to be eco-friendly because there is no byproducts that are generating from this, no harmful gases, no harmful gases that are producing during the generation. So that is why it is eco-friendly, and because of its generation produces no pollution or greenhouse gases. So it is also good for health and environmental protection. So the environment also will be protected with this type of energy generation. It is also available free of cost. The only investment we have to put on is the grabbing of this energy into electricity and its storage, and also the turbines that we are installing. Otherwise, it is free of cost. The wind that is available is free of cost. So it is a renewable energy source and inexhaustible, that it cannot be, no depletion occurs. So as much we use it, keep on generating. So from wind energy, one can locally produce electricity. So depending on the area or the land or this environment we have, we can generate electricity in different amounts. So what are the disadvantages? It generates noise pollution because of these turbines, and the amount of electricity generated depends on the strength of wind. If there is no wind, no electricity. That is how we are defining, like it all depends on the air or the wind that is flowing through the turbines. So the areas at some different altitudes has different type of, different amount of electricity that will be developing. So wind energy is that winds can never be predicted. We cannot predict wind. So we can even predict rainfall or the sunny days, but not the wind. So that is why we cannot completely depend on this technology. And windmills kills birds. So there is also a scope. The birds doesn't understand like this is a harmful place for us to move. So that moving turbines can also harm the birds. And tornadoes, hurricanes and cyclones can even damage these wind turbines heavily. And skilled manpower is required for installation. So this installation has to be done by the skilled manpower only, because we cannot really, the knowledge is very important for installing these turbines. Next is the ocean energy. So as we see this ocean, we understand that there is some energy that is producing from ocean. How is that? Like it has enormous source of energy. Ocean is have enormous source of energy. So it is estimated that 0.1% of ocean energy is from ocean waves. Ocean waves. What are these ocean waves? Due to the wave or due to water direction. Water direction. So there are waves producing. So these waves produced really generates power. So about 0.1% is obtained from this type of energy, and can be capable of supplying the entire world energy requirements of about 0.1%. So currently, number of technologies aimed at harnessing this type of energy production that is being investigated and are at different stages of development, including tidal energy due to tides or waves, tidal energy, difference of temperature, that is ocean thermal energy, OTE in abbreviated form, and salinity energy. So if we understand that as we go deeper, like we will see in detail how this occurs. So if you really go deeper and deeper, the water gets cool. So because the top layer of water is warm. This indicates heat. So it is warm just because of sunlight, it is warm. But when we go deeper into the sea, it's cool. Why? Because there is no more sunlight that is available deeper into the sea, therefore it is very cold. So the minimum temperature required to convert this thermal energy into electrical energy is about 20 degrees. So that is happily available at deeper layers of sea. So therefore we can use this technology for converting energy into our purposeful electricity. So what are the big advantages of this energy? It does not produce greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide, or no waste products or byproducts. So no byproducts are produced. So that is the most advantageous compared to other non-renewable resources, wherein for fossil fuels or coal, they produce greenhouse gases like petroleum and fossil fuels. So that is the main advantage using ocean energy. So does not require any fuel to create. So this doesn't require any input of fuels. And tidal energy power plants produce more electricity because we have large oceans available. So we can even explore these oceans for producing electricity, and these energies are available 365 days because ocean is available all the days. So these energies can be produced 365 days because it is not producing any greenhouse gases. It is eco-friendly and renewable and not causes any pollution to the land environment anyway. So it is always better to go with the ocean energy if it is possible with the present technology. So what are the disadvantages? Only power plants and towns nearby the ocean are benefited. So in the Deccan areas like Telangana cannot have this provision because we don't have a ocean nearby. So that is how it happens. So only the power plants or the towns nearby the ocean can get benefited. So that is how there is some disadvantage in using this ocean energy. So it still creates hazards for some of the creatures near it. So when we are generating, there could be some hazards creating for the creatures like animals or any plankton living nearby. So more technology developments are required. Definitely, there should be better technologies for converting into electricity for better improvement. And tsunami or cyclones can damage the power plants. So constructing these power plants nearby ocean is always dangerous because of tsunami and cyclones. Why? There is always scope for the tidal waves to throw back into these power plants during tsunami or cyclones. So skilled manpower, again, this also requires skilled manpower for installation of these power plants. Next is the geothermal energy. As with the word itself indicates that geo is earth and thermal is heat. So we are getting heat from the earth. So this geothermal energy gets heat from the Earth. Beneath the surface of Earth, there are a number of heat-producing layers of rock, minerals, and magma. So these includes mantle, outer core, and inner core. So if we just think about Earth, there are different cores. So inner core, the cross section, just imagine the cross section of a globe. So in that Earth, so it is having an inner core and an outer core. So this has different layers inside, so that will produce, that has heat just because of present of different minerals and also some constituents. So that will give heat. This heat can be utilized to get electricity. So the deeper you go towards the Earth center, the hotter it gets. So that is how we can utilize. And in fact, the core, like 4,000 miles beneath the Earth's surface, can reach the temperatures of about 4,200 degrees centigrade. This is really unimaginable, that it is very high temperature that is available when we go near to the center point of the Earth in the cross section. So the temperature gradient in the Earth anatomy can be used for the production of electricity. So this is very high amount of heat that is available, therefore we can use it for converting into electricity. So this heat can be harnessed for energy, is caused by residual heat that is present during formation of Earth as well as decay of radioactive isotopes. So decaying of radioactive isotopes also produces these energies. So the geothermal plants also harness the heat of Earth through hot water and steam. So if we use this, there is the geothermal zone here. So this zone, when there is pumping of hot brain, so there is a pumping, so it will be hot brain. Brain is nothing but the salt water. It is used to, we can create or generate power due to the heat that is present beneath the layers of Earth. So in these plants, what happened? The heat is generated, the electricity, by rotating the turbines. So we are rotating the turbine here. So the turbine is present here, and with hot steam gush out through the pipe. So there is a turbine that is rotating, and the hot steam gush come out through this pipeline. There are three main types of geothermal power plants. That is like dry steam, flash steam, and binary cycle plants. So these are the different types of geothermal power plants. So what are the advantages that are available? Like for geothermal, it is a renewable source of energy. Again, Earth is abundant. Earth layers. This is always available. Always available until the man is living on this Earth. Always available. So therefore, it is renewable source of energy. It is non-polluting and eco-friendly because there are no greenhouse gases or any polluting hazardous gases that is coming from this procedure. So therefore, it is non-polluting and eco-friendly. No wastage or generation of byproducts. There is no wastage that is producing. Geothermal energy can produce directly, and in ancient time, people used to use it for the source of energy for heating homes, cooking, etc. So these were already explored in ancient times, but in nowadays, if you want to use in the modern world, we need to have the technology, proper technology to use it for higher appliances or higher industrial applications. So maintenance cost of geothermal plants is very, very less. And also, geothermal plants does not occupy too much space, and thus helping us to protect the environment also. So unlike solar energy, it is not dependent on weather. So it is like the heat of the Earth is always there. So it is not depending on any other natural factors. So what are the disadvantages? If you look into disadvantages, very few sites has this potential. So the center of the Earth, we have to just imagine that we have to go and scan the Earth properly so that we get the sites for the geothermal energy generation. So most of the sites where geothermal energy is produced are far from the markets or cities. So it also needs to be conserved, that energy to be conserved, so that should be portable, should have a storage device so that it can be portable to other cities, because the sites are very far from the markets or cities. So total energy generation potential of the source is too small because of this only factor. So there is always a danger of eruption of volcano, because very deeper layers always have the scope, like when digging or exploring these deeper layers of earth, there is always a danger of for the explosion of volcanoes. So installation cost of steam power plant is very high. So installation investment is very high. There is no guarantee that the amount of energy which is produced will just justify the capital expenditure and operational cost. So there is no guarantee that it can produce too huge amount of energy so that it can even cover the expenditure. So it may release some harmful gases, the poisonous gases that can escape through the holes during drilling or during construction, and earthquakes can also happen that can damage the plants. So next is the biomass energy. As we know, biomass is generated there are a lot of waste that is producing in the industries or in the domestic world or the agriculture sector. So that waste can be used for generating energy. So biomass fuel can be defined as a fuel that is derived from any organic renewable material that is used in either raw or processed form. So that can be either raw form or the processed form, that waste is taken and used for the generation of electricity or the fuel. So biomass comes from a variety of sources, for example, natural forests and woodlands. So in forests, we say that there's a lot of waste produced from the fallen leaves or trees, so that can be used for the generation of biomass energy. Then forestry plantations, residues and agricultural waste, agro-industrial waste, then sugar bagasse and rice husk. So during rice, the husk will be removed from the paddy to make rice. So this husk is waste. So the husk can be used for generation of energy or the fuel. So animal waste, industrial waste, such as black liquor from paper industry, sewage like municipal solid waste can be used, and also food processing waste or animal waste. So all these comes under the sources. So there should be proper technology and also the availability provision to deviate or divert these into a proper plant and produce the energy or the fuel for a purpose. So types of biomasses, we will see how the conversion really occurs. So wood and wood processing residues gives direct combustion. With direct combustion, and the heat will produce a generation of electricity, generation and cooking. We know that our traditional method of cooking is only through wood, that is burned. So similarly, pyrolysis is done charcoal. It will produce charcoal. So charcoal, oil or tar, that can be used that is used to produce methanol or also transportation fuel. And next is the peat. Peat is the first form of coal. So direct combustion will give heat that can be used for the electricity generation. Then the dry animal waste or crop residues. So direct combustion will produce heat used for cooking and heating. Then moist animal waste and crop residues, anaerobic digestion. It means in the absence of air gives biogas used for cooking and heating. So now we are already using biogas in some places using the animal and crop waste. Energy crops like maize, fermentation is done to obtain ethanol, and this is a supplement to the petrol. Gasohol, it is called gasohol. So that can be used in the absence of petrol. So sugarcane residue, on fermentation it produces ethanol, and this ethanol can be used as a transportation fuel that is most widely applicable, they are using in Brazil. So what are the advantages of biomass energy? So it always the waste is used to generate electricity or the fuel. So it is very good source, and the fuel reduces need for fossil fuel exploration and also for production of heat, steam, electricity for residential, industrial and agricultural use. It is always available Waste is always generated, so biomass energy is always available and can be produced as a renewable source. And it is from the agricultural waste, maybe a secondary product that adds value to the agricultural crop. So this fuel that is coming from agricultural waste can also like helping in generating the electricity or fuel. So growing biomass crops produces oxygen and uses up carbon dioxide, and the use of waste material reduce landfill disposal. So whenever we are collecting this waste from the domestic, industry and agriculture sector, we are just dumping in the dumping yards wherein the land will be filled, so that it is like waste of that land. It loses its fertility and also hazardous. It becomes hazardous for it, and also the water that is present nearby will be polluted. So therefore the space will be protected and also the environment. Then carbon dioxide, which is released when biomass fuel is burned, is taken by plants. The planktons will utilize that carbon dioxide that is producing during biomass production. So there are some of the disadvantages present for this biomass energy. So agricultural waste is not available if the basic crop is no more growing. So it means always the waste cannot be generated. Depending on the crops, there is a wastage that is generating. So if it is less waste, we really cannot depend on the same waste that is producing from the agricultural only. So additional work is needed in areas such as harvesting methods, and also land used for crop energy crops may be in demand for other purposes such as farming. So there should be crops that will be cultivated only for this energy generation. So otherwise, the land can be demandable for other purposes like farming, conservation, housing, resorts, or agricultural use. So they use it for other purposes. So they should have some reserved places. So that is also some disadvantages. Some biomass conversion projects from animal waste and are relatively small and therefore are limited. So the production, the efficiency is sometimes lower. Research is needed to reduce the cost of production of biomass-based fuels. A lot of technology innovation is required to reduce the cost and conversion of this biomass into fuels. Some cases it causes major pollution, and also biomass plants has bad odor. Why? Because it is all from the waste that we are generating, so it will definitely have bad odor. Next is the hydroelectric power that is produced. So hydroelectric power or the hydroelectricity is usually the electricity that is produced or generated from the natural forces such as gravity of flowing water. So from the flowing water, we produce this hydroelectric energy. So it is usually produced from the dams, because dams can produce large amounts of water. So a lot of water will be present in dams. So therefore, these hydroelectric power plants are nearby dams. So hydroelectric power is becoming increasingly popular, and the dams can generate electricity because they contain special mechanisms designed to take energy in flow water and turn it into electrical power. So that is how it will help in generating electricity. So a power source is used to spin turbine. Basically, a propeller will be present, which is spins a metal shaft, forming an equivalent of an electrical generator and produces electricity. Similarly, just similar to that wind turbine, there is also a turbine with the hydroelectric generation plants, wherein it will the metal shaft will be rotating, and the rotating shaft will produce some energy. Will be rotating, so that will produce energy that can be converted to electricity. So these turbines are very useful. In converting this energy into electricity. So the power source in the case of hydropower is water itself. So that is why we are constructing nearby dams. And when water moves through a turbine spins and electromagnets in the turbine generates electric current in the stationary coils of wire itself. So inside the stationary coils of this turbine, there is generation of electricity or the current that can be stored and used for the purposeful way. Then what are the advantages? So it is fueled by water. So it is clean for fuel source and does not pollute the air like power plants of burning fossil fuels or coals or natural gas. It is a domestic source of energy produced in United States. So United States in the south, there are a lot of water resources. So they keep on exploring these hydropower generation plants. So it is generally available as needed. Engineers can control the flow of water through the turbines to produce electricity. So the turbines, the main control should be the turbine so that the electricity can be generated, and also there is a control always present with the flow of water. So hydropower plants provide benefits in addition to clean electricity. So we are favoring to the clean electricity generation. And other benefits include water supply and flood control. Floods can also be controlled because we are utilizing this water in the electricity generation. So disadvantages are fish population can be impacted. The fish cannot migrate from one place to another place. So when there is a lot of water that is being stored in the dam, there is always some plankton or animal species that will be living. So suddenly if we use it for the power plants, there should be sufficient water for the fish to migrate. Otherwise there will be an impact of the fish survival. So the hydropower can impact water quality and flow. So this flow and water quality can be affected because of hydropower, and the plants can cause low dissolved oxygen levels in the water, and when water is not available, these plants cannot produce electricity. Obviously, it only depends on the water availability. New hydropower facilities impact the local environment, that they have to sacrifice some place for the plants also, and may compete with other use for the land. So if at all the land is agricultural or cultivating land, they have to sacrifice this land for the power plant construction. So humans, flora and fauna may lose their natural habitat because we are giving that land for these power plants. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of alternate energy resources. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.